Old School Pokemon here, back again with podcast episode number 15, joined by my usual co-host, Catch 'em All Collectibles, Dan. How you doing tonight, Dan?
Excellent. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. I don't know why I always ask you that since we always talk beforehand, but sounds like a good little introduction we got going on there.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and hop right into the questions for this week. My first question is from John G. He actually asked two questions in this one question. So I'll read the first one and we can talk about that one. Then I'll go to the second one. But he asks, how often do you use the eBay delivery signature confirmation? I know it's required for products over $750, but I'm selling some pre-order products that might have this feature, and I might use this feature for just to be safe, especially since I've already discounted some of the items and some of these accounts are newer. I plan on letting these buyers know before I ship and just wanted some extra thoughts. So I normally just use signature confirmation on orders over 750, what's required by eBay. I guess if you want to include signature confirmation for that extra kind of peace of mind, it's not that much of an additional cost. I think it's like $250 or something like that. So depending upon what kind of value the products that you're selling have, it's not that substantial of a cost. But I don't necessarily see the point to adding the signature confirmation unless it's something that is really expensive, in this case over the eBay threshold of $750, because I've never had a situation where somebody claims that the item was never delivered when the tracking information says it was delivered. So I've never run into that situation myself. Where you do run into situations are people receiving the item, not wanting the item anymore, and then claiming it was damaged or something along those lines. So signature confirmation isn't going to help you out at all in those types of situations. The only time signature confirmation is going to help you out is when they claim they never received the item when they actually did. So I've never really run into those types of situations. So I don't include it unless it's required by eBay. So that's what I would say on that one.
Yeah, similarly for me, I've never included it when I didn't have to. I think you and I both have the volume, and we've done the business for so long. We're working with fairly large numbers, so we don't want it to happen. But say we did have a $700 loss, we can kind of absorb that hit.
That's
If
true.
you're someone who sells very infrequently and it's going to be a one-off or maybe only a couple times a year type thing, and just for the peace of mind, I think it is a reasonable thing to do if it'll help you sleep better at night, and potentially, yeah, being a newer account where eBay might not have as strong of seller protection for you in the event of some kind of unforeseen circumstance where the buyer is trying to pull something or something just genuinely happens. So, but if you're doing any kind of like significant volume, $250 to $3 per transaction across dozens of transactions a year or hundreds of transactions a year, you're much better off just kind of self-insuring. So every time that you would have bought it, mentally put that $3 into an account somewhere, put that into a basket in your mind, and then every 100 transactions, or if you have an issue, like, okay, well, it's kind of balancing out there. But yeah, that's kind of my answer. Generally, don't use it if you've got the volume or the total sales amount to kind of just self-insure there. And then if it's a really infrequent thing, though, and the peace of mind is worth it for you, yeah, go ahead. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah, exactly. And then the second part of this question, or his second question, would be also, do you use eBay PWE with tracking for booster packs under $20? I've started to sell some Japanese packs, and it's the only option that makes sense. However, if the order has 3 or more packs, do I do first class mailing with tracking? Can't wait for the next episode. Well, thank you for your continued support there. Glad you enjoy these podcasts. But to answer that question for you, I would definitely use PWE with tracking on single booster packs. I don't actually sell single booster packs myself, but I usually sell them in art sets just because it's more so worthwhile. But on a single booster pack, if you're selling single Japanese booster packs, especially Japanese booster packs, but even English booster packs, single packs, I would definitely do the eBay PWE with tracking. Just make sure you set it to 3 ounces. That way it's classified as non-machinable, because if you do just a single ounce, it's going to go machinable, and it's probably going to end up getting ruined. But I would just do for packaging, I always used to do I don't know the correct term, card saver or semi-rigid. But either whatever you want to call them, card savers or semi-rigids. I would always put the pack inside the semi-rigid and then seal it closed with a top loader. That's always how I used to store my booster packs. And so I'd ship them out the same way if I were you. And then once you get into 3 or more Japanese packs, or even like 2 English packs where Japanese packs have less cards, I would definitely do first class mail with tracking, just because of the thickness. You kind of your chances of having something damaged with such a thick PWE package increases. So I would definitely do first class mail with tracking when you're talking 3 or more Japanese packs, or even 2 or more English packs.
Yeah, for me, it's been a long time since I've sold. I guess I do sell the occasional single pack, but it's like a multi-$100 pack generally. So I don't really have any insight on shipping like under $20 things. I've still not sold a single item with the tracked PWE that eBay newly offers. So yeah, that's more of a Nick question. I think he covered it. John G actually came over to my channel to ask another question. So I know as sellers, we take on most of the risk, but at what point do you not refund, fight the claim, or tell the buyer to file for USPS insurance claim? Even with PWE standard tracking and selling something like $5 to $19 in value, do you always take the loss if the buyer says it's not arrived? And at what cost point do you not accept that loss? So again, I don't really do this now. I do all that through Troll&Toad EVO. But when I did do it, that was before tracking was even a thing. Anything plain white envelope, early on, before I had the experience or the knowledge of kind of going through the issues, I used to try to fight people and just say like, no, it definitely arrived, escalate it to eBay and lose everyone. So then it got to the point where I quickly realized I refund them. It costs me money and it annoys me, but it saves me headaches. But yeah, as of right now, it's not something I deal with. So I think Nick might have a better answer again here.
So that's a tricky one. I was talking with someone a couple weeks ago about this situation. So PWE with tracking, we've talked about this before, but the tracking information isn't that accurate. So the tracking information says it's delivered when the package reaches the final main sorting facility. So it says delivered, it's not actually delivered 99% of the time. And then a day or two later, it actually shows up and is delivered. So there is an issue with the tracking information with the standard envelope with tracking. However, the whatever platform eBay uses for those types of orders, the seller is covered up to $20, so up to the cost of the most expensive item you can send through that service, as a some type of insurance. So if you do run into these situations, you can make an insurance claim through whatever platform eBay uses. However, the item does have to say that it is delivered. Can't just sometimes you'll run into a circumstance where there's no updates with these packages. In that case, you won't be able to fight. You won't be able to fight and get your insurance claim for whatever reason. It actually has to say delivered for you to file and possibly win an insurance claim. I've actually never tried to do this because there's a lot of stipulations. You have to wait. It's either 30 or 60 days for the package to say delivered. And then there's a few other stipulations that I forget. So it seems to be like a huge hassle with minimal upside to it. So on a PWE order, I always just take the loss. But then again, like Dan mentioned in the earlier question, both of us are doing fairly substantial volumes, so we're able to take that loss more so than someone who's just selling a couple items here and there on eBay. So I would look into that if I were you. It sounds like it would be a hassle because you do have to keep track of all those tracking numbers, file them after 30 or 60 days or whatever it is. But you could possibly win those insurance claims. And then the only other thing I would mention is the working with the buyers on an item not received case is one of the most important things for top rated seller status on eBay. Like those selling metrics, you have a fairly wide margin for all of the other metrics except for the item not received or item not as described. You can only have a few of those cases if you want to be top rated seller status. Or I'm sorry, you can have as many of those cases as possible, but you have to resolve them as a seller. You can't let them go to eBay. So that's another reason why I just basically automatically refund, is because I want to maintain that top rated seller status versus possibly making a couple extra bucks here and there. However, when you get into higher value items, so like first class, priority mail, stuff like that's when it changes for me. So I would say anything over $50, I would say I would look into more so. Just because it for me, knock on wood, it really never happens. I can count on like one hand the number of times that I've had a first class or priority or whatever mail class, someone say that they never received the item got damaged in transit or something along those lines. So it really never happens. The only time you really have to worry about it is with these PWE orders, at least from my personal experience. So hopefully that rambling answered your question there.
Yeah, I think the post office gets kind of a bad rap, but generally speaking, I mean, I think I have like 17,000 feedback, because back in the day I did more like what you're doing now, 200, 300 items a week, a lot of plain white envelope. Not many issues over the years, several thousand, 10,000 plus shipments from plain white envelope up to priority. And I mean, the post office is pretty solid.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So my second question is from Matthew B. He asks, do you guys think there will be a way to snipe listings in the upcoming October PWCC auction block or any future PWCC auction blocks? I used to snipe PWCC auctions on eBay, but that's not feasible anymore. So I actually haven't looked at the PWCC website and their own auction blocks now that they're off eBay. So I'm gonna pass this one right along to Dan, and hopefully he has an answer for you.
Yeah, so PWCC, similar to eBay, they have like the proxy bidding where you can put in your maximum bid at any point throughout the auction, and they'll bid on your behalf up to your maximum bid. They won't bid you up to your maximum bid without, I mean, they'll bid to stay ahead of the second highest bidder by one increment, similarly to eBay. But one thing that they explicitly state on their website, you can't use like Gixxon. There's no third party sniping software that you can use on PWCC. And they also have like eBay. You can go on eBay right now and you can look at an auction. It has a specific exact end time. So what people will do is they'll use Gixxon. Hey, put in my maximum bid 1 to 3 seconds before it ends, snipe it. That's not a thing with PWCC because each individual item doesn't have an exact end time. The way that it works, I actually, before we started, I pulled it up to be 100% sure, but yeah, there's like a 60-second extension every time a new bid is placed. So it's kind of like an anti-sniping feature built in. In some ways, I guess I mean, as someone consigning items to PWCC, it is a positive thing is like, okay, nobody's going to win on a last second snipe because they had 100 tabs open and they can't get to it in time or whatever. So it's a positive more for like the people selling through it. But yeah, as the buyers, theoretically, that would serve to like make sure prices are realizing what they truly would. So yeah, if you're looking to snipe and get deals through that way, sniping's not a thing on PWCC, but I believe this October block, which is going to be taking off in about a week or so, I think it's mid-October they go live. I heard it's several thousand cards, and it's not going to have the eyes that eBay does. I don't think you're really going to need to snipe, and there might be some deals out there. So I know I'm going to be there. I was never one to snipe on eBay. I always just put in my max bid whenever I found the auction, whether there was 5 seconds left or 5 days left. I'd just put in my max and then be done with it. And that's the way I'm going to do it again now over at PWCC. So yeah, I think that's everything on that. I'm really looking forward to the first lot at PWCC to see how that goes. I'm going to be ready to shop and hopefully get some deals, but I am selling some stuff too. So I hope the deals aren't like too crazy. I didn't sell anything really big though on there. I'm just doing $50 to $100 cards or so, a handful of them.
Did they not have a September block?
Nope. They had the
I
premiere
thought
still. They had the premiere still for September, but
okay.
this is going to be like the first of their standard monthly auctions, like we were used to on eBay.
Okay.
Whether it's going to be one day of Pokemon or whether it'll be spread across 3, kind of by era, like it was at the end in July and August, I don't really know yet. That might be public. That might be stated somewhere. I'm not entirely sure though.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how, because I thought they did one, but shows how much I pay attention. But it'll be interesting to see how that first block does.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for it.
Pricing that goes through their website versus on eBay.
Yeah, definitely. So our next question comes from Shiny Lightbulb 1000, and it's our first MetaZoo question for the podcast, I believe. I think we've talked about it a little bit here and there, but this is the first viewer question regarding it. So could you speak on the volatility of the MetaZoo market, or maybe just volatile markets in general? I know you spoke a bit about this on your MetaZoo box break. A specific example is that about a month ago, I bought a MetaZoo spellbook for $125, and the lowest price today on eBay is $250. I was planning on collecting a spellbook per MetaZoo set going forward, but these kind of price jumps really freak me out. So yeah, MetaZoo has been pretty wild lately. Anyone following my channel, I picked up some Kickstarter boxes earlier in the summer, a little bit below like $2,000. Kickstarter boxes are 8,000 to 10,000 now, I think. Cryptid Nation First Edition is what are we at? $900, almost 1,000. Nick and I think you picked up a little bit. I picked up several boxes at around $450. Nightfall pre-orders, I locked in a couple potentially if they don't cancel on me at $250 a box, and those are up over 300 now. I think MetaZoo is just, it's born in a crazy time. We've got the pandemic, we've got everything that sports and Pokemon and crypto and housing and the stock market have done over the past year and a half. Everything is just going crazy. And relatively speaking, the MetaZoo print runs are like nothing compared to Pokemon or Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, anything like that. Obviously, MetaZoo doesn't have anywhere near the reach either, but when you've got 2,500 Kickstarter boxes, 25,000 first edition Cryptid Nation boxes, it's just like a few big players with decent bankrolls can really move the needle. They can really move the numbers big time. So yeah, I mean, Pokemon in general, collectibles like Pokemon cards, like MetaZoo, they're inherently illiquid, speculative, and volatile. So something like MetaZoo, how small it is, it just really cranks up that volatility by a factor of 10. And that's not something that's going to change anytime too soon, I don't think. I'm really interested to see beyond Nightfall, the next intended release is going to be the second edition of Cryptid Nation. I'm really interested to see what that does, how and if it affects first edition and Kickstarter edition of Cryptid Nation. Me personally, I genuinely like the product. I genuinely think the whole cryptid idea is pretty cool. I think that pretty much everyone in the world knows a cryptid or two local to them. And then there are some of the big ones that almost everyone knows about. I mean, Bigfoot we had in the first set. And so it's really interesting to see where it's going to go. And it's going to be a wild ride for at least the short to intermediate term. I think it's going to stay very volatile. So buckle up.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. The one area we differ is I got to open some more packs, because I opened one Kickstarter pack, and I really wasn't a big fan of it. So I am purchasing a little bit of MetaZoo. I actually got it right there in the background, just collecting dust right now. But I'm more so doing it in case it does become something to make money off of it. In terms of like actual interest, I don't really see it. I don't have that much actual interest in MetaZoo myself. But then again, I've only ever opened that one pack. I've never really looked too much into it. So maybe I just have to spend more time looking at it. But
I think what you said is really interesting too, because like being completely honest and transparent about it, I can't say that like the thought of making a bunch of money on it isn't part of the reason. I mean, that's definitely part of the reason that I'm buying into it. And you and I both did really well over the past year to year and a half with Pokemon, right? And there's a lot of guys like us who similarly did that. So again, given how small it is, when all the hype is there and people see the potential to 10x or maybe more, who knows, you get a lot of people who don't even necessarily like it. Like it's so easy to take, I'm going to take $1,000 that I made on Pokemon last year and buy a box and throw it in my closet. And maybe it'll be $5,000 in a couple of years, and maybe it'll be zero. But like, there's a lot of people just buying into it solely for the hype. The same way, I mean, that was common in Pokemon last year too. So sorry to cut in, but yeah, I think.
Oh no, you're good.
Your like mentality, your feelings about it, why you're into it, that's an extremely common sentiment. And again, given how small these print runs are, if there's 1,000 people like you who, yeah, I'm just going to buy a couple boxes of each, you're looking at 10 to 20% of the print run being gone. I mean, That's massive.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point is how many how many people we've talked about this before, but how many people are actually interested in MetaZoo? They like opening the packs, they like collecting the cards, they like playing the games, versus how many people are just into MetaZoo for the reasons like what I said, just exclusively to buy the product at one point, flip it to make more money. I personally think there's a lot more people who are in it for that than a legitimate, genuine interest. But then I recently figured out how to get on the MetaZoo Discord. And there are a decent amount of people on the Discord who actually love MetaZoo. They're constantly talking about all this merch that MetaZoo's dropping. They're talking about how to build decks. They're talking about the artwork of the cards. So there is at least a portion of people who have a genuine interest in MetaZoo, which I found kind of surprising myself when I was looking through that Discord. But so that's a good sign for the hobby. But I am really curious as to how many people are actually interested in MetaZoo versus just interested in the money behind MetaZoo. That's my biggest concern right now with MetaZoo. Is I personally think it's more so people who are just looking to make money in MetaZoo versus those who have a genuine interest in the longevity of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say. But it's been a wild ride the few months I've been into it, and I genuinely enjoyed opening the packs. I mean, it's interesting to me. It's intriguing, the whole idea of cryptids. Would I buy it at $1,000 a box solely for like the enjoyment? No, I mean, I wouldn't buy Evolving Skies at 180 either. Like so I mean, I'm buying it because I see opportunity. It's a very risky play, but I mean, money can only go down to zero, but it can 10x. So if you take a certain amount of kind of gambles in that respect, if one or two of them pay off, you can, you can still make out overall. So
it does have a lot of good things going for it. All the Tops collaboration they did. They're doing all this merch, so they're definitely building a good foundation. So it could definitely become something one of these days. It'll be interesting to see if it does ever take off.
Yeah, I did get some of the Tops boxes. I know right at release the Tops site went down, which I think it does like daily for whatever they're releasing throughout for sports stuff and whatever, but it went down. And then I checked the Discord and people were like, oh, I can't do anything. I just like left it alone. I didn't go crazy spending a bunch of time trying to get it to go through. Like an hour and a half later, I just hopped on. I threw 10 into my cart. I bought them. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe that just went through so easy. I look at the Discord. There was like one or two other people who had posted they had luck. And then tons of people who were like still since an hour prior trying to check out with no luck. I think I just got really lucky somehow. But the Tops thing, I think it's pretty interesting. It's more along the sports lines, right? Like it's got the 1 of 99s, the 1 of 250s, whatever, the sketch cards. And I mean, it's got certain things going on that some people would love to see come to Pokemon and some people would hate to see come to Pokemon. I mean, I've seen a lot of people talk about, I mean, Topps Chrome has been really big lately. It's done really well through all this. The Spectra, Sparkle, Techno variants. I've seen people talk about, yeah, I don't want the TCG to get into the numbered things. But if Topps were to come along and do a Pokemon set and do the 1 out of 10s, 1 out of 99, whatever, numbered, signed, I mean, I've seen people interested in that. So for MetaZoo to have that, pretty interesting to see where it's all going to go.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a lot of the right things. They're listening to kind of the complaints people have had with Pokemon and kind of fixing those in terms of like actual print numbers. That's a big one for us. And then the actual like not having all these like really really obscure variants that we don't know where they came from. It sounds like MetaZoo's gonna have like specific releases for everything, which will be nice. Like instead of just doing first edition and unlimited, they're gonna be doing like different types of print runs. So I think that'll be good. So they're definitely doing a lot of the right things.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit before we came on, but I think each set is going to have its own kind of unique little thing. So for the Kickstarter boxes, I think they just had like a map in there, like the cryptid map that showed you the United States and where each cryptid came from. Cryptid Nation First Edition had the box toppers. 1 out of 250 chance you could pull that red ink card, which is pretty cool. And I guess Nightfall, it's not going to have box toppers, but there's this speculation that it might be God Packs, Secret Rares, something like that. They kind of like every Friday they drop a new spoiler, they drop a new card from the next set. And I've been following along the Discord for a few weeks now, and it's definitely interesting and kind of fun. Just all the hype, all the speculation. It's cool to kind of be seeing it and be experiencing it from well, I didn't like fund the Kickstarter, so not from day one, not from day zero, but like from early on. Because one thing I not constantly, but one thing I occasionally will think back is like, man, I was into Pokemon at the start, at least the start of the English releases. Imagine if I had just stayed in it for the whole thing. Like imagine if I had been here 25 years deep. Imagine if I had just been here through it all. Think of all the things I would have from over the years. I mean, if MetaZoo becomes a real thing, goes for 5, 10, 20 years, I mean, you could be a part of it from the start, right? That's kind of an interesting idea.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To think about that. And so, yeah, it's new, it's interesting, exciting, it's crazy like everything else is these days. One thing I saw that's pretty interesting too is like, so Kickstarter was kind of the launch, the initial funding for MetaZoo. There's been a lot of other card games coming through. I've seen some talked about in different Discords, but I think there's like a lot of card games trying to launch off of the success of like what MetaZoo did. So there's people funding Kickstarters of new card games, hoping it's going to be the next MetaZoo, and it's definitely a lot of speculation, a lot of volatility out there. To just go back to the question, but in a way, like, I mean, that gets articles written, that puts eyes on it, that makes people notice it. Again, going back to the whole cryptid thing, everyone knows some amount of cryptids. Everyone's got those local urban legends, mythical creatures, whatever lore. It's an intriguing thing.
Did you know the term cryptid before MetaZoo though?
Nope.
I had never heard of that term.
I'd never heard the term, but like once I heard it, I mean, I looked it up and it's like, oh yeah, I mean, I can like, I know of several cryptids.
Oh yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, before not having known what cryptid meant, but it's interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I think we thoroughly answered that question.
Yeah. Don't want to turn into a MetaZoo podcast, right? I almost wore my shirt again. I wore my MetaZoo shirt the other night to kind of meme on the on Swami's what was that called? Top Spec,
yeah.
That was fun. So yeah, anyone who's watching now and you didn't see that, go over to Swami's channel just to kind of shout him out. He had us on the other night. That was a fun time on there. Nick and I were both on there as guests of his channel.
That was a good time. Those are fun. And yeah. Swami, if you're watching, definitely keep those up. Those are a great idea.
Yeah.
And thanks for having us on there. So my next question, or I guess next question or next topic, some weirdo who spells his name wrong, spells collectibles wrong. Let us know in the chat, how do you spell collectibles? You spell it Tables or Tibles? But no, Catch 'em all collectibles. Dan left a comment on my last podcast for me to talk about consignments, which I recently got into. Super excited about that. So it kind of just happened. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I remember getting off my ship back last November and going on Swami's channel for my very first interview. And back then, I told him that I was going to be planning to go full time with eBay. We were talking about different avenues that I would start to get into. And even back then, I had mentioned in that interview that I wanted to get into eBay consignments. So basically selling stuff on eBay for other people. And it just never worked out. I never had the time to actually do it until just recently. One of my Instagram friends actually reached out saying that he had some cards he wanted to sell. At the time, Rusty was on vacation, so he couldn't send them to Rusty, which worked out well in my favor. But yeah, so he sent the cards to me for consignment, and that kind of launched my consignment services. I'm going to be doing anything through consignment is going to be via eBay auction for right now. I might change it at some point to doing buy it nows or auction. But for right now, just for simplicity's sake, it's all going to be either a 7-day auction or a 10-day auction. They're all going to end on a Sunday night, which I think is the best time to end an eBay auction. So they're either going to start on a Sunday or a Thursday to end on Sunday. And if any of you guys are interested in consigning through me, definitely reach out via Instagram or email. I always leave that in the description below. But yeah, so far I had my first one that just ended yesterday and worked out really well. We got some good prices on the cards that he sent me. We actually still have one more. There was a slight issue with one of the consignments there, but we worked that one out, and it's actually the PSA 8 first edition Charizard is up on my eBay auction right now. But the other cards ended up selling good. Got some good prices on those. And if any of you guys are interested, feel free to reach out. Like I said, Instagram, email. Get your cards shown in a YouTube video, an Instagram story, and post it on eBay. But yeah, that's about what I got to say for that. And then you will be seeing some other consignment videos coming up on my channel, probably next week. But yeah, I actually did get my second 2 consignments after the initial one, which is awesome. Super happy about that. So hopefully we'll be able to get a few more and kind of do this semi regularly. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever get as big as PWCC or anything like that, but be nice to be able to do it semi consistently for sure.
And your plan is to do those on a weekly basis too, right? Like it's not certain Sundays every month, it's every Sunday.
Yeah. No, it's basically is whenever consignments come in, I'll get them listed that Sunday, unless they show up like Saturday or something. But if they show up at the end of the week, I'll get them listed, start them on Sunday, and you'll basically get paid whenever the buyer pays and I actually ship the item out. So you don't have to worry about anything getting returned or anything like that. Just whenever I get the money, you get paid, and we call it good.
And then you take over. Like, I mean, hopefully it's not too frequent of a thing, but if things get returned down the line, if things get damaged in the mail, that's you're taking over the order fulfillment, right? Customer service and all that.
One thing I have been doing so for these consignments is normally I offer free shipping on everything. For the consignments, I have been charging shipping, and I basically, so I charge shipping, and I add insurance onto every single thing that sells, just to, add that extra layer of protection. So that way, if something does get lost in the mail or damaged in transit, it's not, I'll be able to get that money back eventually, hopefully. So I have been doing that to kind of cover myself. But yeah, anything that goes wrong, I take the hit on that. So that's definitely a huge perk if you're looking to sell stuff without actually having to take the hit yourself.
Yeah, and I feel like I've talked about it. I forget if it was with you or just in one of my ramblings in one of my videos, but I think there's a lot of people in the hobby who just buy and collect and they don't really sell. They don't really have a way to sell. They don't have any idea of an exit plan. And then sometimes like life will happen to those people. Car breaks down, water heater goes, they decide to get married or buy a house or have kids and whatever. So I think the service is great for people who like don't have an eBay, or maybe they have an eBay, they only sell a little bit here and there, but they're just uncomfortable with the larger numbers. I definitely think it's a great service. One thing too that I think next year, and we've definitely talked about this, the whole 1099 thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm not advocating for it, but like just knowing how things work and what certain people are going to do. I mean, certain people are going to find attractiveness in consigning through people to not get that 1099 in their name. So that's definitely just a reality of something moving ahead that people will be using the service for. So it definitely has a lot of different benefits for people. One thing you're doing too that's kind of unique, as far as I am aware, a lot of people have like a flat fee, right? Yours is kind of a scaling thing. As the numbers get bigger, the commission percentage drops.
Yep.
So you charge like the actual fees, and then depending on what bracket it ends in, it's like a different percentage, right?
Yeah. So I do, basically you're going to pay the eBay fees, which is usually it's around 11.5% between the final value fee and the managed payment fee. So you'll pay that portion, and then depending upon the actual ending price of that item, it's going to be anywhere between 10% all the way down to 2.5%. So like I had one, like my first consignment, there was a PSA 10 unlimited base set Charizard that sold for $10,900. I only took 2.5% for myself, and then the person who consigned it paid the eBay fees. But in total, he ended up getting, I think it was $10,200. So all the fees, my commission, the shipping, all that stuff, ended up being like, what's that, like $700. So it's really not bad at all. When you get to that higher value stuff. And then with the lower value stuff, it ranges between 10%, 5%, all the way down to 2.5%, like I said.
Yeah, and that's kind of a unique model. I think most, like PWCC is just a percentage. It is a scaling percentage. As the number goes up, it goes down, but like it doesn't get anywhere near the 2.5%. I guess it's different because they're not charging you the fee plus, right? So it's definitely,
yeah. So it's like 12.5%. Or I guess it's a little bit less, because once you get into that higher value stuff, I'm paying less of a fee to eBay as well. But yeah, so it's the eBay fees plus whatever I pay for the eBay fees plus 2.5% on top of that.
That is true, because yeah, the PWCC fee never capped. You're gonna pass on that cap to people, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So when they're paying the actual eBay fees at the really high end, that fee caps. So then it'll just be 2.5% plus the capped fee. So yeah, interesting
exactly.
thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I went over to your channel to ask the question so that you didn't feel like you didn't want to advertise for yourself on our podcast, but I'm fine with that. And I think it's definitely an interesting and useful service for potentially many of our viewers. So I wanted to chat about that.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And yeah, I'll do a once I this was kind of a good test run for consignments where it's someone that I've done business with and I know well. So we've been able to go back and forth on Instagram a lot and kind of talk about the whole consignment services. So I've been able to kind of fine tune it a little bit. And so for the next consignment video that I do, I'll actually have some like I'll put some nice little tables in the video to actually give you my exact rates and all of that stuff. So you will be seeing more consignment talks from me on my channel. So if you don't like those videos, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll definitely get a little batch over to you just to try out the service, and maybe I'll make a review video testing it out, see how it goes.
Yeah, I heard you send some stuff to James before me.
He had the service launched before you. But yeah, you better treat me right because I don't want to have to tear you up in a bad review on my YouTube. Got some pretty big viewer base, pretty big pull over here.
Yeah. all your subscribers already know me because they came.
They came through the podcast, yeah.
So what do you want to talk about next? Got some exciting news.
I guess we'll do that last, right? You want to do the Troll&Toad?
We can
EVO?
save the best for the last.
We'll save the best for the last. That way people don't leave early. They stick around to the end. So yeah, I made my own video. We're actually recording this on Monday. Generally, we record these on Wednesdays. You'll still be seeing this Thursday, but earlier today, Monday, I did a video on my channel about Troll&Toad EVO's price increases. I don't think it's as relevant for Nick, but it pretty relevant to me. They across the board, they increased prices for just about everything. Raw fulfillment went from 6 cents per card to 10 cents per card. A-list raw fulfillment, like where they break modern packs for you, that went from 2 cents each to 6 cents each. So that tripled. That's significant. One thing that went up substantially, the return item fee. So they used to charge you 6 cents per item, like per line item. So if you sent back like 1,000 versus seekers, just a random trainer, 1,000 or whatever, it would literally just be 6 cents plus the shipping fee. Now it's 6 cents per item. So if you were to send back 1,000 versus seekers, that's $60, which to me feels like that's a lot. If it's 1,000 different singles, like literally 1,000 different, that would take forever to pull. And I think it would be reasonable to pay $60, which is what the old fee would be. If you have 1,000 different cards, that's 1,000 different lines. That would be $60 under the new fee or the old fee. But under the new fee, it's $60 to send even 1,000 of the same item. So what I did is I reached out to them. I emailed them, hey, this is kind of catching me off guard. I've been eyeing some things to kind of pull back eventually anyways. Can I get like one shipment within the next week at the old rates? And they're great over there. They said, yeah, sure. So I pulled back like 10,000 cards roughly. And they were mostly like versus seekers, level balls, Rayquaza EXs, mainly the things that I got from that the Rayquaza Keldeo Battle Arena decks.
Have those Rayquazas been selling well for you?
TCG player, they have.
Okay, because I have not been having much luck on eBay with those. I thought those things would sell out immediately. I still have a good portion of what I started with.
I think I called back 400 of them. I had like 600 or 700. I don't even remember. I think I had 350 decks broken down.
I think it was 2 in each deck anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. I had a lot and I still have a lot, but they are they are selling better on TCG Player. That's part of the reason I call them back. One, because like with that new rate in effect, certain items are just like they're locked there forever because you can't pull back a 20-cent single paying 6 cents each.
No.
You may as well just, because on a 20-cent single, the fee is 50%. So you get 10 cents from it. If you're paying 6 cents to pull that back, you may as well just sell it to them bulk for 3 cents. So that's actually something I'm going to do in the next week or two as well. They will allow you to do like EVO to bulk. So you just send them a spreadsheet and you say like, hey, I want to bulk out. And they don't charge you like 6 cents per item for that. They take them into bulk, or they probably pay you bulk and then they probably like keep them in their own inventory to sell them singles. I don't really know how it works, but that's something I'm going to be doing moving ahead too, is like doing a decent batch of, there's probably 5,000 to 10,000 cards I can just bulk. I'm still not to where like I'm paying storage fees because of my credit that I get, but
I would wait and just hold everything until or the stuff that you want to keep there. Just wait until you reach a point where you have to pay storage fees, then start looking into bulking stuff out.
There's been a couple months where like I've barely crossed over the so like my storage fee, I'm over $100 under the credit limit that I get, but my concern is like one of these months I might miss the sales threshold. Which they've asked me to not share the specific numbers, but like I've kind of said pretty closely what it is. So yeah, my concern is that I'll miss that goal, and then boom, I'll have a couple $100 storage fee for a month that I just don't want to end up having. So I'll trim down the inventory. I've got thousands of 20-cent trainers that there are 1,000 listed that aren't ever selling. I mean, it's worth just, I think I have like, well, energies came in those decks. So I have like thousands of energies there too. And I'm talking the hollow ones actually slowly sell for the 20 cents a piece. But like water energies, they're not going to sell for 20 cents a piece. So I just got to bulk those out for a cent a piece and get rid of them.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that EVO, kind of big news for anybody who uses it. Kind of big news for people who buy on it too. I actually had some people reach out to me who are like, yeah, I don't sell through it. I don't care. I'm never going to sell through it. But a big thing from like the buyer side is foreign Pokemon singles under $40. They're not going to take them and do them anymore. So like I had somebody reach out to me who said like, yeah, I fill out all my Japanese modern binders buying like 20, 50-cent singles from them. That's not going to be a thing anymore moving ahead. Like what's there is grandfathered in and it can stay there. But moving ahead, they're not going to take it in. So
I wonder why they would do, I can see like Portuguese, whatever, I can't even, French, Dutch, all those languages. But why Japanese? Because Japanese is such a huge part of Pokemon. You'd think they'd want to keep Japanese.
I was really surprised that they didn't do two things. I was surprised that English and Japanese were both allowed, like shedding off the lesser ones. But I was also surprised base wasn't exempted, because like
that's true. Yeah.
I'm kicking myself now because I didn't do it, but like I opened one of every base set first edition box aside from English over the years. And like I have some PSA 9 Korean Charmanders that I graded that were selling for like $200 a piece, and some random PSA 10. Like I graded the starters only. Maybe down the line I'll have to grade a lot more of those, like even the non-starters. But like what I was going to do, some of those sell on eBay for $10-20 because like just not many people are selling them. I didn't really want to do $10-20 singles on my eBay. I was going to send them all into Troll&Toad and just price them like in the 10 plus. I have thousands of those across all languages. That's like a fairly significant amount of money, but now I can't send them anymore because because they're non-English, under $40. So yeah, that kind of stinks. I guess I'm gonna have to go through them, see what's gradable. Once PSA has a sub $10, $20 grading fee, maybe I can grade more of them, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely tough. I think I can see some of these increases with Troll and Toad, like the raw fulfillment makes sense to me. The opening packs make sense to me. Getting stuff returned though, I still don't like how much they're charging for that. I think that's a ridiculous amount to charge. Even if someone goes through and says, I want one of each copy of this card that I have there, and I have 1,000 different cards I want you to send. That's $60. It doesn't take, say, I don't know what the minimum wage down in Kentucky is, but up here in Mass, it's $15 an hour. So that's 4 hours of work to get a $60 price tag. It does not take 4 hours to pull 1,000 cards.
I think it does.
I find that very hard to believe.
So I have about 3,200 line items. If I told them I wanted to do one of everything that I have, that would be about $200. I do not think one person does that in a day, in an 8-hour shift. I don't think one person, 3,000 individual cards, and I have only Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
There might be some people that have Magic. They do MetaZoo now. Like I could have 300 each of 10 different TCGs, CCGs.
I guess you have to look at how big they are too. Like for me, everything's in one room.
Yeah.
So I'm moving from this box to this box.
They
so
have
that's true too. They're
100,000+ square foot warehouse. I don't know how it's all set up, but like I mean, base set singles could be like 100 feet down the aisle from Vivid Voltage and Evolving Skies and stuff. Like,
yeah, that I hadn't thought of that.
Even if it's all in the same, like, because you and me, we have like look at Mason's shop. He has like a monster box for each set.
Mm-hmm.
They might have 20 monster boxes for some sets. They might have, like, I would love to see inside there and see how it works. One question that you had actually asked me this week, and a couple other people reached out to me and asked over the past months, but like when I send a card, so if I have right now, I have 30 Hidden Fates ETBs, and I probably have a handful of the Charizard promos. So those 30 Hidden Fates ETBs, if I were to recall those, I wouldn't necessarily get the same exact 30 ETBs I sent in. So when you send in cards that are cheap, or when you send in items like that, they get pooled together. So Troll and Toad might have 1,000 Hidden Fates ETBs in their warehouse. And then they have like a spreadsheet that tracks who owns what, how many are theirs, how many are mine, how many are yours, whoever else. What they told me is that, so like if I send in a base set Weedle 6 months ago, which I might have, I don't even know. I might have one there. If I recalled it tomorrow, chances are I'm not going to get the same one back. They didn't tell me what the value is, but they said at a certain value tier, certain items do get like there is a catch 'em all collectibles area for my higher end stuff. Like I just actually recently sent in some Team Rocket first edition packs. I have some Fossil first edition packs there. My guess is that those items that are a few $100s a piece, they're probably in their own space, because like theoretically, say those packs ended up being resealed or something, they want to trace it back to me.
Mm-hmm.
If someone were to send in and then they get pooled with a bunch of other people and then they had issues with that, yeah, they're not gonna like allow that to get diluted across other product on high value stuff. So it was interesting to hear that, like, yeah, cheap stuff is pooled together, the more expensive stuff is segregated. So
that is interesting. I'd love to get a behind the scenes tour
yeah,
of that facility.
I'm hoping over the years I can really build up a decent thing there, and maybe someday I'll get my own. I hope I can build up my YouTube pretty decent too. Maybe I'll get a discount code and be able to go on a tour someday.
That would be nice. That would be nice. My other issue with Troll&Toad, not that I have ton of issues with them. I really do like them, but since we're talking about it, the only other issue that I have with them is their storage fees. It doesn't sound like much in the beginning. It's like a third of a cent per card, but when you really sit down to think about it, I have right around 20,000 cards there, and I'm paying $45 a month. So again, does $45 a month doesn't sound too bad. But when you actually think about it, 20,000 cards, they probably have those cards sitting in 4 or 5 monster boxes, and I'm paying $45 a month to have 4 or 5 monster boxes of space. That seems a little excessive. But then you can
thing is like disincentivizing people just storing like a bunch of trash with them. That's the biggest thing, I think.
That is true. That is true.
Because if you get your monthly sales up big enough, I mean, I have 48,000 items, and most of those are single cards, but some of those are like dice, some amount of those are sleeves, some amount of those are ETBs, booster boxes, collection, whatever. But I have 48,000 individual items there, and I store them for free.
But then the bigger items like ETBs and all that stuff, those seem dirt cheap to store there.
10 cents
I forget what they I don't know what they charge, but
it's 10 cents a piece for, I think they call them like oversized items.
Okay.
So booster packs, sleeve packs from the ETBs, things like that, all get the third of a cent.
Mm-hmm.
ETBs, booster boxes, collection boxes get the 10 cents. Even you talked about this before, I forget if it was with me or on the podcast, but like the pins that you got off Rusty.
Oh yeah.
I think they classified those as a 10 cent each item, which those would be crazy to store large amounts there if you were actually paying. But yeah, like coins, third of a cent. But yeah, I think there's another class, which I don't have anything really big there, but I think there's another class above it that's like $1 or $1.50 a month to store, like really oversized stuff. Like if you're sending, like I know Rusty has some listings there of the 24 count mythical collections from the 20th anniversary. So it's 24 of those sealed case. That's a big item. That's probably $1.50 a month to store, which is reasonable for what it is, I think.
Yeah, stuff like that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing is just disincentivizing people just storing mountains and mountains of like, yeah, I mean, they don't want, like in some ways, there's probably a lot of people who have the free storage through the credits. Like I'm storing water energies there right now. If you look at my account, it's like 1,000 water energies. Theoretically, they're charging me a third of a cent each. I'm just not paying it because it's under my credit limit for what I sell. So yeah, I really need to get rid of that stuff for in case I like this month with celebrations, I'm gonna hit my goal easily, I think.
Oh yeah.
But like if we get a lull month after the holidays, whatever, I don't want to pay to store water energies.
No, definitely not. But yeah, overall, I like Troll&Toad. Biggest thing for me is I just like having control over everything. So the only time I'll send stuff to Troll&Toad is if it's modern product, and then if I already have, I do 25 copies So if I already have 25 copies listed on eBay, I'll send 20 or 25 copies to Troll&Toad. But if I have less than 25, I just put them on eBay myself and sell them myself.
I really like the diversification aspect of it, and like getting all your sales through eBay. Actually, today was an interesting day, right? For anyone following social media, anything like that. Facebook was down today. Instagram was down today. WhatsApp was down today. I read a bunch of things on Reddit. Certain businesses, hey, we're an international business. We do all of our communication through WhatsApp. Like it was a Monday. WhatsApp was down. If your business, if your livelihood depended on one of those three big, huge, massive companies, which that's millions of people who rely on those every day for their income or whatever. If you solely relied on one of those platforms for income, what if instead of a few hour outage, it was a week or two? What if eBay went down for a week? I mean, it seems unfathomable. It doesn't seem possible. But I think like having multiple revenue streams, having different platforms to sell on just in case. Look at PWCC.
Yep.
They had a nasty break. So if your consignment gets too big, be careful. I mean, you might have a nasty breakup with eBay too.
let's hope not. Let's hope not.
But yeah, that's part of my motivation for it. And then the main one though is like selling cards that I don't have the time to process and do myself anyways. But that's also why I'm getting into TCG Player Direct as well, which I'll have videos down the line on. But
I gotta look into that more because that seems like something right up my alley.
And recently in our chat on Swami's channel, Edison Sears, just to shout him out too. He recently started his own website, and I know a couple other guys who have their own websites who seem to do pretty well with it. And that's always something I've kind of had on my mind. Maybe that's something I'll look into in the coming months. I kind of feel like it won't get anywhere near the traffic and it feels like it wouldn't be worth it, but I never tried it. So it's like, maybe it's worth trying and see how it goes.
I'm gonna give that a shot within the coming months. We'll see when it actually happens. Probably this time next year. But I'm definitely gonna look into that more because I didn't know Edison was talking about opening a Shopify account, and he was saying like creating the website's actually really easy. You don't have to know coding or anything like that, which I didn't know previously. So I thought you had to know actually how to actually build the website and all that stuff. So I think I'm going to look into that for higher end stuff. All the lower end stuff's going to stay on eBay, Troll&Toad, stuff like that. But for like graded cards and stuff like that, I think I am going to look into that and set something up to at least have as another option for people to purchase cards. And I think you could build it up fairly quickly. You just have to advertise it by anything someone buys on eBay, throw a business card with or a coupon or something like that saying go to my website for 10% off or whatever it might be.
I got to get rid of like 500 more of these though before I get a website so that I can put my website on them.
Exactly. But no, I can see it. I can see it building up fairly quickly. Pokemon Steve's doing really good with his.
Yep. And he's in Australia. So I don't know if like they're a more restricted market over there. And
oh, absolutely.
I almost feel like you have way higher hurdles to jump over to like do business over there, get graded cards and all that. So for like the few people who do it, they have a lot more work to do. But like once you do, they like I feel like they benefit a lot because he has a captive audience, right? Who
exactly.
They can buy from him and not pay that big fee. And so yeah, like if you go through all that work to do it, it can really like almost benefit you, even though it's kind of a headache to get there. So yeah, I talk with him a decent amount and he does do really well with it.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Australia, I had to sign up for GSP finally because USPS they shut down initially they shut down first class mail to Australia, but they recently shut down first class and priority mail to Australia. So somehow GSP is able to make it to Australia still. So I don't know what mail class they use or what they use, but somehow packages are still going to Australia through GSP. So I finally set up my eBay to offer GSP for Australia customers.
So you have it set just for Australia.
Yeah, yep.
I think New Zealand or somewhere else.
New Zealand just that just happened yesterday or something.
Yeah.
We're the same thing. First class and priority mail shut down. Which hopefully that won't last long because I sell a decent bit to Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, I sell a lot. I'll have to see if there's an easy way to find it, but like a significant percentage of my business is just GSP in general. I usually don't look at like the ultimate destination. I don't pay that close of attention, but I ship a lot of stuff to Erlanger, Kentucky, for sure.
Well, do you want to talk about our other big news?
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit. I think I mentioned it in one of my rambles in a recent video. Maybe it was in one that's scheduled for next week that hasn't even posted yet, but Vegas. We're going to Vegas.
So excited.
By the time you see this, Nick will have already been in Vegas for over a day. I will be, unfortunately, not. Well, I won't be in Vegas yet. I'll be leaving. I'll be going Friday. So I'm going Friday to Sunday. Nick's going Wednesday to Sunday. The big thing that's going on Saturday. Oh, yeah, that's where I talked about it. The end of my Delta Species lot buy. So I won 2 sets of packs a couple weeks ago on Golden. And Nick and I are partnering up. We're doing some podcast pack breaks. So whatever I pull, he owns half. Whatever he pulls, I own half. I thought about, we talked about potentially just like selling 1 set of packs to you, but the podcast would have abruptly ended if I sold him a Charizard first edition or something like that. So for the podcast, for the sake of the podcast,
for the sake of the podcast,
we're doing a joint ownership thing. So maybe, yeah, I don't know the details of like grading. They're gonna do the pedigree slabs potentially for any heavy hitters, but maybe in a couple podcasts from now we'll be able to show off some nice pedigree base first or shadowless hollows or something. So
that'd be nice.
Super exciting.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that. I'm super excited for that.
We're both gonna, hopefully this podcast will grow substantially because we're both gonna be up on stage. We get to open our packs live on the stream. We get to like do our little shout outs. So I'm definitely gonna mention the YouTube and the podcast with Nick, and hopefully we can grow a bit off of that. But yeah, it's gonna be so exciting. I actually don't know if I know this, but have you ever opened a base first hollow? I bought a heavy pack years ago and I got like a PSA 8 Ninetales. So I did open a base first hollow before.
I've never opened first edition base. Nope.
Not even a light pack?
No. I've done shadowless base, but never first edition. And unlimited, obviously.
Yeah,
this will be the first time ever opening a first edition base pack.
Yeah, years ago, I think I opened 3 base first packs. I opened one that was a guaranteed hollow, and I think I opened 2 that were like borderline non-hollows. But I opened an entire, so it was like a cracked seal, but I opened 12 hollows, like a full heavy packs. worth of a shadowless box. No Zard. I opened several unlimited boxes years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple Zards, couple PSA 10s. Like if we had a PSA 10 unlimited Charizard, that pays for the pack set. Like we paid about 10,000 for each pack set, so 20 grand for the two. And we've got 6 shots, right? We've got 2 shots at each to pull a hollow.
Exactly.
So statistically speaking, we should get 2 hollows, right? So hopefully we just land them in base first.
Yeah, let's hope they're not both base unlimited.
My whatnot breaks and my like pack break luck has been crazy. Like I bought into Z and G pack breaks. I bought into some of like Pokemon Radar, John's whatnot streams several months back. My odds are pretty good historically. So hopefully it's not like regressing to the mean while we're in Vegas, getting 0 hollows.
Well, mine have been terrible, so I'm due for a hot streak here. I guess recently I opened a heavy base pack back in June and pulled a Blastoise, so that was good.
Uh-oh.
But then recently I opened 5 Neo Rev packs, and that was a rough one right there. I did get 2 hollows, but and then 3 non-hollows. And one of the hollows with the jump left too, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, I'm super excited though. It's gonna be a really fun trip.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hopefully it'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to that. I've never met Steve Aoki, so that'll be cool to finally meet him. And then I hope Graham Stephan will be there. Big fan of his YouTube channel. Hopefully be able to meet him. And then I already forget the third one. Grant Narv or Navar? Navar, yeah. Big fan of his YouTube channel, even though I can't remember the name of it. But hoping they'll be there. And then of course James, that'll be fun seeing him. He's going out.
James is coming down. John Radar is gonna be there with Don Diego. Zach Gem Pokemon's gonna be there.
Yep.
And then like a lot of the more mainstream creators too. Like I don't know if Leonhardt's going, but Super Duper Danny, I think, right? I think some of those. I think some of the more mainstream creators will be there too. Mm-hmm. I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who actually goes. I don't really know who's going outside of a few people, but it sounds like it's going to be a big event and a lot of fun.
Yeah, and these were all donated boxes, so this was like going back to the whole dumb money break where they had the fake box initially. This is the replaced box, and the boxes have been verified too, right? Like they opened the box, weighed out the packs to make sure there were 12 heavy packs, put them back in randomized, or they're going to be pulling names out of a hat or whatever. So
yeah, they even opened one of the light packs.
So actually, instead of having 12 out of 36, 1 out of 3 odds for a hollow, we actually have slightly increased 12 out of 35 odds. So,
and the light pack that was opened, they pulled, I forget if it was like a Lass or a Pokemon breeder. So even if we don't get a hollow, our odds are better that we'll get at least a
Pokemon,
Dragonair or Dugtrio.
Yeah, I mean Dragonair would be pretty solid.
Oh yeah,
it would be a solid miss. And then, I mean, you've got, so I forget what channel it was, but there was like a shadowless box open relatively recently where the uncommons or the commons were like first edition.
The uncommons, yep.
And then
that'd be nice.
You've got the Red Cheeks Pikachu, you've got the starters. I mean, I don't know what the pedigree will do to it either. Like we might get our energy signed and graded pedigree. I mean, I'm definitely going to keep a memento, at least some. I'm going to keep some amount of this stuff, but we have talked too. Like obviously the the best possible thing you could do is get a PSA 10 Charizard. I think we've kind of agreed that we'll probably sell that on and split the proceeds.
Well, we're not talking one PSA 10 Charizard. We're talking two PSA 10 Charizards.
Yeah, I mean, two PSA 10 Charizards, first edition, two shadowless. I mean,
yeah,
the ceiling on it is probably close to $1 million, right? If you hit everything perfect and the
that'd be absurd.
Yeah, but I mean, the nice thing with it being 3 boxes, there's a pretty good chance some Charizards are going to be pulled. It'll be kind of a bummer if like no base first Charizards get pulled, but it is a thing. I mean, I think there's something like a 70% chance that any specific holo will be in there.
You get pretty good odds right there.
You get 12 holos and there's only 15 that you're picking from because Machamp, there's 16 in the set, but Machamp isn't in the box. So 12 out of 15, but it's slightly less than that because you can't have duplicates. Hopefully we don't get like a 3 Polyrath box. We'd have to sell that to James though if we get a Polyrath, because that's
there we go. His favorite Pokemon right there.
But yeah, I'm super excited, and it's going to be a great time, and it's for a good cause too. I mean, it's all the different charities that it's going to, brain health and autism awareness and all that. So definitely a cool event and a nice cause.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And it'll be nice to finally meet up in person again. It's been quite some time since I've seen you.
Yeah, Worlds
2019 was the last time we saw each other in person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Over 2 years ago.
Yeah. Crazy how time flies.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we're going to get a 2022 Worlds, but we'll have to see. I'm kind of betting against it. Just they're still not playing in-person events like to get the points to qualify for it, right? So that's tough, but
I hope they cancel them enough where they decide, let's skip London and bring it back to the States. London's obviously cursed.
Yeah, I'm hoping the same. Because that's a hike.
Yeah, that's a long flight. Plus that USD to pound conversion is rough.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, I think we'll have hopefully some good stories. Hopefully we'll have some good spoils we're returning with for our next podcast too.
Let's hope so.
I don't think we'll have like cards in hand. I mean, if something really big is pulled, they might get super expressed through and we might have something in hand for the next podcast. So we'll have to see.
That'd be nice. Be able to show off something real good.
Yeah.
At the beginning there. It'll be interesting to see how they do the grading. Like if they, I would imagine they'd have to take them right there for the whole pedigree thing.
For the pedigree thing, yeah, like we wouldn't go home with them.
Yeah,
I'd imagine it would, and whether that's included in the price or whatever, I don't really know. I would think that PSA, like in some respects, that's kind of free advertising for them, right? Like if they tie into the whole event, if they donate the grading services as like a charity type thing, it's kind of like the whole goodwill advertising, all that. So
yeah, exactly.
It could be included with like the holos, at least from the shadowless and base first boxes, but
that'd be nice.
So some of the little details we'll have to figure out how they all work, but yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I am really looking forward to it.
Hopefully the stream pulls good numbers.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. I'm wondering how they're gonna do the stream. As much as I love Gary, hopefully he's not the IT guy. No, yeah. Hopefully they have something legit set up where they do a good job with the stream and people are able to tune in and watch the box breaks.
Yeah, I'd imagine like Dumb Money. I mean, they've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of product to this. So I would think that on their end, they're doing good work to like ensure that their money will be like well spent as far as advertising their name and all that.
That's true. I didn't even think of that one. Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely a decent bit of money tied up into that, and everyone wants to spread the word as far as they can, right? Get the maximum benefit from their
Oh yeah.
donations and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, this has been quite the event in the making. 'Cause when did they buy that box? It
Late
was
last late last year, right?
I want to say so.
Yeah, because
Almost almost been a year.
last year they broke like an unlimited box, I think, Gary and Aoki.
Yeah. Yep.
And then this year, obviously, they're really turning it up with all three. They should have got a fourth print, the 1999 2000, just to round it out, right?
Then you got to get into Japanese and Korean and
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be the next one. Base first, just in all the languages.
yeah, there we go. That'd be an expensive one.
Yeah. But yeah, if one of us are able to pull, it's exciting that you're opening your first base first product in general. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, this very well could be my last ever base first pack that I open too, especially if it's a hollow. Like, I mean, those heavy guaranteed hollow packs are expensive now. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
even shadowless. I mean, I have heavy base unlimited packs that I'm definitely going to open someday. I feel like those will always be, they're always a gamble. You're always going to like lose money unless you hit Charizard basically. But I think that'll always be like reasonable enough that over the coming years, I'll open more base unlimited. But shadowless and first edition, maybe not.
Yeah, no, even Shadowless is getting expensive. The trouble with Shadowless is it's tough to find. Base first is expensive, but at least you can find it. Shadowless is pretty tough to find.
Yeah. And shadowless has the thing too where like there's shadowless packs that have unlimited cards, right? So
Yeah, yep.
that's an additional difficult thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be really cool though to get like that error box with the first edition uncommons or
That would
something
be really cool.
something cool like that.
Even like a what other cool errors can you get? You can get the War Turtle unlimited base.
Yep.
That'd be a cool one to pull.
Yeah.
I think that's well, I guess we don't know. We don't know where the Beedrill came from. That's a pretty lame error.
I don't even know what the Beedrill error is.
The defending with the period from unlimited
Oh,
base.
yeah, I didn't even know that.
Well, someone doesn't watch TCA Gaming's channel. I
I'm
wish
not a big error variant guy.
I wish you can get the no damage from booster packs. That'd be the
Ooh.
pull that I would want.
Could you imagine? Old school Pokemon pulls a no da- Are those confirmed to only come from theme decks? Like probably
I
not,
don't
right?
I don't think it's confirmed to only come from theme decks. We know what 100% they are in theme decks, but
Yeah,
you might be able to get them. I don't know if you could get them from booster packs though, because I feel like the sheets were different.
like you can't definitively confirm that like it's impossible to come from booster packs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
no,
if one ever gets opened, then you confirm that it's possible. But the only way to confirm that it's impossible is to open every single one because
that is true.
anything could have happened, right? Like
Yeah,
one day at the factory, the theme deck line could have got swapped over to there, and yeah,
yeah,
that would
exactly.
be crazy. Could you imagine? uh,
uh, but no, it'll be really
possibilities.
fun. I'm looking forward to it. It'll definitely be the last trip of the year for me. I don't think I'm definitely not going to do Collecticon the weekend afterwards. And then I don't think I'll be able to make Legends Expo, Charlie's event, just because I feel like I've been traveling way too much this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be my only event of the year. I intended to not travel at all this year, and my wife doesn't fully believe me. She doesn't watch my YouTube really, so she's not gonna hear this. But um, when I told her I won 2 sets of packs, she does not believe how unlikely that scenario was. Like Logan Paul's last box break for first edition alone some of the packs went for $40,000 and we won these at $10,000 each. Like I thought genuinely that these were going to go to 15 to 20 each. I was only willing to pay like 10 plus the buyer's premium. I was going to go like 12 on one set and I thought I was not going to win. And then to win 2, I almost won 3. I mean, to win 2 at 10,000 each was extremely improbable in my mind going into it. And I mean, Scott SM Pratt won 4, and he said the same thing. He said he was maybe going to try to win 1, and then he accidentally won 4 because they went so cheap. Crazy thing. I genuinely feel like we're getting these for like at or near to like the expected value. If you went through and you did the math, I mean, to buy a first edition base box right now, I think the last one went for like $360, right?
Mm-hmm.
That works out to 10,000 a pack.
Yeah.
So we're getting these packs tied to the whole event and all that. Like the price was crazy good on these, I think. I don't know.
That's why I didn't bid on any of them. I thought for sure there's not a chance I'm going to win any of these. And with the way Golden works, you gotta bid on it beforehand to get into the bidding afterwards.
Yep.
And then you can only enter the ones that you bid on beforehand. So with all those hurdles, I thought for sure not a chance I'm going to win any of these. So I just didn't even bid on any of them. And yeah, turns out they went a lot cheaper than what we thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I was a little scared initially when it looked like I might win 3 or 4, but then when I ended up winning 2, it's like, oh man, what did I just do? Over the ensuing week or 2, it was like, am I going to go to Vegas? Should I go there? It would be crazy not to. And yeah, I decided to do it, and I'm just going to be safe when I come back and get tested and all that, and really distance better from anybody unvaccinated or at risk that I know. So thankfully I work from home now, so I don't really have to interact with too many people.
That's the nice part about running your own business.
Yeah,
I like to think I helped your decision out to go to Vegas, considering you're not gonna get your money from my pack until you actually come and I can hand you the check.
Yeah, I gotta go collect in person. That's gonna be dangerous too. Well, it's gonna be a check, so I don't think they'll take that at the blackjack tables, but
I don't know. They might.
It's gonna be dangerous being in Vegas. We're already gambling enough on the packs, so hopefully I'm gonna to limit. If we do well though on Saturday and we're riding the high of like opening some crazy packs, we're probably gonna be trying to throw down at the craps table. I think James wants to go to, so we'll see.
He's still gotta teach me how to play craps. That game sounds way too confusing for me. I like blackjack and roulette.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Really.
Oh fun. Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully I'm not broke by the time you see me on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we'll see.
Well, that's all I've got for tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I think that was everything. Definitely another good podcast in the books, I think.
I think so.
We did have back-to-back there with guests, so this is like the first one in over a month that it's just us two. And
yeah, that's true. That is true.
I think it was good that this one was just us two, so that we weren't like going on and on about our big trip coming up with guests. Like, what are you guys doing here? You brought us on so that you could talk about your own thing here. So the timing worked well with that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we'll have to do the two of us post Vegas, another podcast.
we can't
talk about how it went.
We can't let any guests on for the next one because we're gonna be going through the questions and we're just gonna work in Vegas like wherever we can.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of that Charizard we opened on stream. You remember that? So yeah, no special guests sneaking up in the next one. That's just for us. The post Vegas.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Debriefing.
Debriefing. I like it. Well, as always, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate all the support you guys give us. Really does mean a lot that you continue to watch through the whole thing.
Definitely. And as always, leave comments for the next podcast. Any questions, any suggestions for future topics, anything you want to talk about, feel free to like and subscribe.
Oh, I always forget to mention that.
Yeah, I think I said once I was going to stop, but I do it on occasion still here and there. Most people who make it this far are subscribed, so.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely.
But yeah, another good chat as always. Catch you all later.
Have a good one.